reproduction of desire is a reality we have to deal with in our community. So when you talk about individual responsibility for slavery, the oldest tradition in the black community is...
I didn't say for slavery, right? I said our connection to it and how we're still practicing
But I'm saying the connections to slavery and how we perpetuate them. If we believe that slavery was such a totally devastating Holocaust experience that we would contend, and I agree, we all agree that, and if it was that, then we don't bear responsibility for reconstructing that alone. I don't say that we don't have individual.
So y'all want the white people to help y'all. The people that put y'all in that condition.
And if we don't, we should be fighting by all means for reparations. And everyone here, hold on. Excuse me, sister, check this out. We should demand reparations as all of the others, the Jews and the Japanese, who have suffered like us, so that we can repair under reparations the damage that has been done to us and use that to move on.
Let me present a proposition to you. If you were talking about groups that have been damaged by whites and enslavement, because blacks weren't the only people enslaved. Let me finish the question. You cannot hear the question, Scheherazade, objectively, unless you shut up and listen to it. Here is the issue. Here's the issue. If you're going to talk about reparations and what is fair, then what are you talking about? The white man returning to everyone that he enslaved, to everyone, the Native Americans. If we're going to be fair,
the Native Americans certainly have a great case. We have the worst case of human suffering in the history of anybody on the planet, Jew, Japanese, notwithstanding. So we deserve what's rightfully ours. So then we can stop talking and dwelling in the past. We can take these trillions of dollars that the government owes us, put it in the institutions, and then move on. That's true if it would go to individuals. But if the reparations would go to institutions and business co-ops and collectives, then we could move on. This is a political agenda that we pursue. Even if you perceive it as being naive, we must pursue the agenda of reparations. The statements I said.
And there have been many people who have done just that.
When I talk about
entrepreneurship talks about us building and collecting together. But what I want to do, folks, is I want to say this is how black people act. That is a deliberate, for example, I'm going to take a break. When I come back, we are witnessing a tremendous amount of young black male violence. I want to talk about, is that a connection to slavery? Yes. And we'll find out right after this. If you've been watching, you know how difficult it is to discuss the issue of slavery. We're trying here this morning, and I want some help. I am looking at black-on-black crime. Young African-American men from the age of 12, the latest statistics out of the Justice Department, to 25 killing each other. It's a new phenomenon at this level. Is that a part of our slavery background that makes us want to kill each other like we are?
Absolutely.
Leonard?
I say no. I say it doesn't have anything to do with our background in terms of the whole point of slavery. Let's face it, I think what's going on here is that you have people, because they can't get the kinds of things they need out of society. They can't get good jobs, they're in poverty, some of them can't get out of poverty, they don't want to work at McDonald's or Burger King because it's not enough money, and so they feel the best way for them to make money is to go on the street and sell crack and sell drugs. Well, then that's a no-no in the black community.
And you say that's not a connection to slavery?
No, it's not a connection to slavery.
I would have to disagree and agree. It stems from us being brought into slaves of ships, being taught to hate each other and being put against each other by the slave master. Then, of course, the economic conditions that you say perpetuate the violence. Now, today, with the young black, and of course, the immorality, the indecency, the violence inbred in all of American society perpetuates this problem. Now, today, we have to come out of this, and we have to have the freedom to follow the leadership that will get us out of this condition. Now, thousands of black men are turning out to hear from the key leader of our day, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. The brothers are backing him, and hopefully they can become like what I feel I'm becoming, a revolutionary. That's the key for young black men, to become revolutionaries and to get your education to get out of this condition.
When a young black man rides by and shoots a 3-year-old baby in the head, that he's doing that as a direct result of slavery?
He's doing that out of complete ignorance and a deprivation of morality. And what he has to be taught is who the real enemy is. And if he knows who the real enemy is, he'll stop killing his own brothers and sisters overnight.
Well, but you have to remember that the vast majority of young black men, and I have to say this, are not killing, are not stealing, are not...
That's
We're talking about a percentage.
Well, it is a progression of problems that were created by slavery. First, the whip was used, the beating, and then ultimately later on, say we had another great impact, welfare perhaps was the next thing, and the next thing was the drugs. The white man gave the Indian alcohol. Right now they're dealing with fetal alcohol syndrome in about 40 or 50% of their babies who are born. So different kinds of chemical weapons have been used against us. Drugs is another one, but it was in a progression of things that had been used to destroy us, and so it is related to slavery.
But nobody came to us. I mean, we should not blame everything on slavery. Let's face it. We can't do that. When we talk about the problems in the black community in terms of black men shooting a child or throwing, killing people in the black community, is that because of slavery?
It's an offshoot of it. Yes, it is.
Because that's hogwash. That is basically because people have lost the whole sense of morality. They have lost the sense. Let me finish. They've lost the sense.
How did they lose it, brother?
But they have lost the sense.
How did they lose it?
They have lost the sense of community. It is not because of slavery that we have drugs in our community. We made a decision. Some of us made a decision that we're going to allow drugs within our community.
Let me finish it, because
when I was a child growing up, you know, all the people, my parents, my grandparents, they did not allow things to happen with